You can build a big round butt, much rounder butt in 30 days by following the following 6 steps. By the way, it will happen. Just do what we're about to say. I'll start with the first one, and then we'll break it down. Get strong. You got to get strong to make this happen.
Trying to go viral here.
Yeah, let's back up though.
Back it up. Huh?
The butt is a muscle.
Yeah.
This is what people forget. Like they want to get a bigger butt, and it's a muscle. If you follow the steps to building muscle applied to the glutes, it's going to build. It's going to get bigger if you just do that.
Yeah, it's the beautiful part about it. It's a muscle that you can build and develop. It's not, you don't need to go get these weird what do you call those?
Injections?
Yeah, injection, or
stuff?
some kind of replacement for it. You just need to build and develop it just like any other muscle.
Now, by the way,
the reason why this is so important, though, you have to explain why this point you're making is the first point and probably the most important point is when I think back to all the clients that specifically asked for this, right, which was a good percentage of my female clients, this was like the thing, right? But it almost always came with, I also want to trim my waist or slim down or lose body fat.
Right.
And I think it's important to understand that, okay, yes, it's a muscle. Yes, you need to build it. Just like a guy who comes in and says, I want to build my biceps, the same approach would happen, only we're focusing on the butt instead of the biceps. But what comes with that I think is what not talked about enough is understanding how important the calories in relation to that is.
Feeding yourself while you do this.
Yes. So it's important to understand that, you know, we don't do that at the same time. We're not losing body fat and building muscle at the same point. So if the focus is a bigger round butt, you have to go in with the same mental approach of, I want to build this muscle.
That's right. And this is a 30-day process we're talking. We're going to highlight how to do this in 30 days. And it's not, is it going to happen? If you do what we're about to say, it's probable that you'll see a difference. So, and I'll challenge everybody listening right now, take a picture of your glutes from the back and from the side and measure them.
Doug.
Yeah.
And don't send it to any of us. It's for you.
Please, keep
this
it
is just
yourself.
for you.
Yeah.
And in 30 days, you'll see a difference. Now, let's back up for a second. Why is this even a thing? Why are we attracted to glutes? By the way, everybody thinks this is a female thing. When women are polled on what body parts in a man they consider attractive, glutes typically make the top 5.
Yeah.
So it's like, why are strong-looking glutes attractive? I'll tell you. It means you have good function. In fact, it'll be tough to find a powerful, strong, effective athlete who doesn't also have well-developed glutes. It's
impossible.
This is the lumbopelvic hip area. It's one of the muscles that separates us from other primates is our powerful glutes. It's why we can stand upright. It gives us power when we run, move, rotate. It gives us power when we lift things. So there's a primal reason as to why this is considered attractive. It's functional, which takes me back to getting strong and back to what you're saying, Adam. You got to get stronger because getting stronger means you're building muscle. It also means you're eating right. It also means you're doing a lot of things right. So what you don't want to do is just do a bunch of butt exercises and not measure strength. If you get significantly stronger in 30 days, I guarantee you're going to see a difference in the way your butt looks. It'll probably look fuller and bigger as a result. So that is your metric. The reason why I started with Get Strong is in this 30-day period, how do I know? And you got the before and after pictures and literally do that at the beginning and at the end of this. But stop looking in the mirror at your butt through this process. Measure strength. If at the end of this 30-day period, you've added weight to your main, butt exercises, which we'll get to, you've built your butt. That's a fact. So that's the number one metric. Start there. The second thing is to increase the amount of volume of training you're doing for your glutes. But this comes with a caveat, okay? You have to take that volume from other body parts. What you don't want to do is look at your total workout, just add more stuff to your glutes. Take away from your back, take away from your shoulders, take away from chest, take away from your core, and then give it to your glutes because there's a total amount of volume your body can handle. If you just add a bunch of work to your glutes and keep everything the same, you're likely to overtrain and you're not going to see the strength gains. You're not going to see the butt build.
So I would be even more specific in regards to volume. I mean, volume is set reps times weight, right? So that's what gets total volume on the glutes. And increasing volume on the glutes while doing these other things, getting stronger, like we're saying, will result in that. I would go even further and say increase volume through load. I just think that a lot of the girls that I trained were doing a lot of volume, but what we would call junk volume. A lot of these butt kicks and dog peas and doing the kickbacks on the Stairmaster. So they were doing a lot of volume through reps and sets, but they tend to shy away from load. And so typically when I have a client that we're trying to focus on this, I'm going to increase volume, but the way I'm going to increase volume is primarily through load, because I'm also tipping into the novelty stimulus too. Because I know that they need to increase volume, and I know they probably do a lot of these different creative exercises because that's what all the magazines show them. That's what all their friends have probably told them. And so I'm going to go in the direction of let's go load the bar and get more volume through really trying to push strength.
Well, it's a generalization, but you see that a lot from the female perspective. And then with men, that you brought up earlier, like men with like big glutes, it's a byproduct of just lifting heavy. I mean, like your support system and your posterior chain, you have to, in order to be able to, support that, your muscles have to respond accordingly. And so it's like, it's inevitable, like it's just going to grow there. So to be able to take from that, from a women perspective, add load and just focus on that for a while is going to make a big difference.
That's why Get Strong was number one, right? You add a bunch of exercises, and at the end of 30 days, you're not stronger at anything. You're not going to grow your butt. So getting strong is number one. Adding volume is number two, but getting strong is still number one.
Yeah.
So you train the glutes, focus on the glutes, you prioritize them in your workouts. And we'll get there, by the way. We're going to get to what this workout will look like. But get strong, the goal is, can I lift more for 5 reps? Can I lift more for 1 rep? Can I lift more for 8 reps? But don't do the super high rep stuff. Stay in the lower rep range and get stronger. That's your goal. And again, if you get stronger, you're going to build your butt. Yeah. Next up is to eat. Now, you mentioned this, Adam, with calories. Eat. You got to fuel muscle growth. If you're trying to cut while trying to build, neither will happen.
Yep.
You're going to do nothing, okay? You'll just sit there and do nothing. So you need to eat in a calorie surplus to make this happen. Now, the question after I say this is always, well, what does that look like? What does that look like for me? So I'm going to give a general answer. Now, of course, there's differences from individual to individual, but we're talking about 30 days. So I feel very confident in making the following statement for most women who are watching this, who are like, I want to get my butt built bigger. Do this. Add 300 to 400 calorie meal to every single day. Just do that. For the next 30 days, you're getting stronger. Add a meal that's 300 to 400 calories to your total day, whatever your day looks like. And make sure that day has that meal has 50 grams of protein. If you do that calorie surplus in a 30-day period, the extra 50 grams of protein a day for the average woman, plus getting stronger, you're going to see a big difference at the end of 30 days.
This is necessary. Yep. There's this misconception that when you are doing your hip thrusts and deadlifts or your booty kickback, these exercises where you feel your butt in the gym and it gets full of fluid and blood and it gets pumped up, the glutes are not growing in that moment. They're breaking down. It's not until you rest, recover, and eat to fuel the recovery, to fuel the adaptation, to fuel the gains, that actually happens. And so if you don't do this part, but you do all the right exercises, you train really hard, you do low reps, you're saying, but you don't give it the calories you need, you're not going to get the results you need. You have to be in a surplus, which this is probably the most challenging part.
Yes.
Because again, like I said, when I started this, was my clients that wanted this also wanted to tone or to lean out or wanted to lose body fat or they wanted abs. So they would be asking for both. And the truth is we just got to focus on one or the other right now. And if the main goal is on glutes, we'll get to your abs. We'll get to the leaning out process. Now, I know that there's a possibility that I can show her both at the same time, but I won't be able to if she's not eating enough. Mm-hmm. If I do it right, I can put her in a slight calorie surplus and she actually builds some of her glutes, builds some metabolism, and might even lean out a tiny bit. But that will not happen if she's constantly in a calorie deficit, afraid that she's going to put any extra weight on, trying to build her butt. If you do that, you suspend your wheels.
Now, the kind of person that is attracted to the message that we started the show with, which is get a bigger, rounder butt in 30 days, would benefit from a nice bump in 300 to 400 calories, with 50 grams of protein that meal. And what they'll end up with is a faster metabolism at the end of this anyway. So in other words, if you do what we're saying and you're trusting it, all right, fine, I'm going to add 300 to 400 calories a day. And it's going to have 50 grams of protein and I'm going to get stronger. At the end of 30 days, if you still want to get leaner, guess what? You're in a better position to get leaner anyway. Yeah. We're only talking about 30 days, everybody. Okay, adding 300 to 400 calories a day with 50 grams of protein with good strength training, you're not going to gain a bunch of body fat at the end of 30 days.
No.
But what you will gain is muscle. You'll gain roundness. Your butt will look higher. That's why I'm telling you to take a side picture, because the side picture tells a lot of the story. You'll look at the side picture next to each other and you'll be like, oh my God, my butt lifted 2 inches because you built it. So 300 to 400 calories. So you'll map that out for yourself. What does 50 grams of protein look like? It's 8 ounces of some kind of meat. Add some carbs in there to make up the difference. Some fats. Really doesn't matter. Carbs, fats, whatever makes you feel better. Some women feel better with more carbs, other women with more fats. But hit the 50 grams of protein in that extra meal. If this is challenging for you. So if you're listening to this, you're like, oh, I can't eat another meal that's 300 to 400 calories. Make it a shake then. And you can make a 300 to 400 calorie shake with milk or coconut milk, protein shake, a protein powder, throw some peanut butter, some fruit in there, but add that 300 to 400 calories consistently every single day with your routine. That's going to fuel the stimulus that you do with your workout. Today's program giveaway is MAPS Anabolic. If you want to win that, leave a comment below this video in the first 24 hours that we drop it. Subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications. If you win, we'll let you know in the comment section. We also have a sale, MAPS Hit and the Extreme Fitness Bundle, both half off. If you're interested, go to mapsfitnessproducts.com and then use the code April50 for the discount. Back to the show.
Also understand that if this is challenging for you to do this, there's a clue into why you haven't been able to do it in the past.
Yeah.
If you hear this advice and you go, okay, I'm going to do it, and then your response is, I can't get this through. That's so hard, or I get one day and then 2 days I don't get. There's your reason why even if you've been doing all the right exercises and you heard or you had a trainer tell you all these things on what to do to build a butt, but you struggle on the nutrition side consistently, that is enough to keep you from building the butt that you want to build. And so know that if you are trying to do this and that's difficult, that's a hint. That's probably why you've struggled in the past, is because you haven't been able to consistently. No different than the guy who comes to me and wants to build his quads or his biceps, and he's like, I do all the exercises, and then when I have him follow a meal plan, and I'm like, you missed 4 of the 7 days. You're not going to build that chest. You're not going to build those arms or thighs like you want.
Aren't there.
It's no different. You got it. This girls are the same thing. When you have this as a goal, you've got to be consistent with that nutrition. Got to be consistent with the protein. Got to be consistent with the calorie surplus, and then get strong.
And now the 50 grams of protein is very important here. Okay, so if you add 300 to 400 calories and it's low protein, it's not going to be nearly as effective. So make sure you prioritize the protein with that. But again, when you're doing a good strength training routine, think of it this way, okay? You're trying to build a house. Let's just imagine you're building a house. What the good strength training routine does is it sends the blueprints. Here's what the house looks like. And then it sends the workers. All right, here you go. Here's the blueprints. Build me a house. But then you don't give them any lumber. You don't give them any nails. You don't give them any tools. You're not going to build anything. If you send the blueprints and you send the workers, in other words, good workout, good programming, you send the signal, you got to send the materials. The materials are the calories and the protein. When you do that all together, magic happens. All right, next, sleep 9 hours every night. One of the most anabolic things you could do, anabolic meaning build, things you could do, is get good rest. One of the most catabolic things you could do is to get terrible sleep. So if you're trying to build anything and you get bad sleep, it's going to be almost impossible. And there's very fascinating studies on this. There was one study, now this was done in a calorie deficit, so this is a fat loss study, but they took 2 groups of people, matched their calories, matched their food intake. One group got bad sleep, one group got good sleep. The group that got bad sleep lost twice as much muscle and half as much body fat. They both lost the same weight on the scale, but they lost a bunch of muscle. So sleep is imperative. So what you need to do with this is set your nighttime routine. Be like, I need to go to bed by this time and wake up by this time. Keep it consistent for 30 days in a row. This is going to turbocharge what you're looking for when it comes to butt development.
Well, this goes back to the misconception of that when you're in the gym lifting weights and doing all the exercises, that's where you build the muscle. It's not. Yeah. That's when we send that signal. That's when we break down. It's when we sleep and eat. is when we recover and adapt. And that's where you get the most bang for your buck. So if you are, again, doing all these great things, but then you have terrible sleep, you're neglecting the most important time as far as the part of the adaptation and the growth in the butt is when you get that recovery. When you get that rest and recovery, that's when it goes to work. That's when it builds. And so it's so crucial that this is important to you.
Poor sleep inverts your cortisol. So cortisol is a valuable hormone. We need it. No cortisol means you're not healthy. But cortisol is supposed to be high in the morning and start to dip down towards the evening. And what happens with poor sleep is your cortisol starts to ramp up to try to give you energy, and then it starts to invert. And you get low cortisol in the morning, and you depend on caffeine. Then cortisol starts to rise in the evening as stress accumulates, which then affects your sleep poorly. So poor sleep inverts your cortisol. Good sleep gives you the good cortisol that you want, higher in the morning, lower in the evening. Growth hormone is terrible. So when you get bad sleep, most of your growth hormone is released at night. Now, what is growth hormone good for? It's good for fat loss. It's good for your skin, your hair, your nails, recovery. Poor sleep means you get terrible growth hormone. And your testosterone. Yes, ladies, you need testosterone just like men do. It's just a different amount. But your testosterone gets depressed. Low testosterone in women is just like low testosterone in men. You won't build muscle. You're depressed. You don't have good motivation. Your libido is crappy. By the way, one of the hallmarks of what we're saying, one of the signs or should I say side effects of following what we're about to say is going to be a higher libido. So it's going to be interesting. If you do this right, you feed yourself, get good sleep, you get stronger, you do the volume appropriately, your sex drive will actually go up as your body becomes more anabolic, which is a sign of many things. And one of them may be that your natural female testosterone levels go up a little bit, which is a great muscle building hormone. And then estrogen and progesterone become more balanced through this 30-day period. And they do invert through menses, through your period, but they become appropriate. And what happens to a lot of women when they don't get good sleep is they become estrogen dominant as their body tries to cope with poor sleep. Not a great place to be when it comes to building muscle. You feel more anxious, more agitated. You have hot and cold intolerance. So sleep is very important for this process.
I think it's the number 2 oversight in terms of like the commonality with women for when I've trained for a very specific goal like this, because you get into this thought process that this is your entire goal. And so that means I got to get up. I got to prioritize getting up and prioritize the workout. And the workout is everything.
Yeah.
And so you end up doing the workout consistently, but now you're cutting into your sleep. And then you cut into the sleep, and then it becomes this process of spinning your wheels in the mud, and you're really not moving forward because this actually takes precedent over that. So a lot of times, even like trading this out for a workout is going to be much more advantageous for your goal.
Yeah, I'd rather have a woman who worked out twice a week, strength training, and got good sleep, all things being equal, would build more of a butt than a woman who worked out 3 days a week, but compromised her sleep. It's a very, very good point that you made there, Justin. Sleep is extremely important. Next, take creatine. Okay, creatine is an exceptional supplement. By the way, a study just came out, not related to what I'm about to say, but it reduced symptoms of depression by over 60%. It's got cognitive benefits. It's good for your brain. It's good for your organs. It's a longevity supplement, but it also does something exceptionally well, which is build muscle. And it hydrates your muscles, okay? Your butt is a muscle. The more hydrated your butt is, the rounder it's going to look. In a 30-day period, just taking creatine and lifting weights will build your butt, okay? So this is a supplement you can't skip out on. Now, some women say, and some men say, it upsets my stomach. That's a common complaint, although it's not common. If someone does complain, it has to do with gastro distress. One of the easy ways to remedy that is to split up your dose of creatine. Yeah, take a little bit with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, rather than one big dose, and that tends to satisfy or fix that problem.
Now, I'm not recommending this, but if Justin was a chick trying to build his butt, you could probably get those extra 200-300 calories through a bunch of gummies.
Creatine.
And kill 2 birds with 1 stone, if you know what I mean. If you're supposed to hit 300 calories, grab some of those Organifi gummies, maybe an extra 4 or 5 of those in your serving. You got a bump in calories, got your creatine.
You know what?
Little nice little snack.
That's a funny joke and a plug, but here's the truth, okay? The number one reason why my clients failed to be consistent with creatine was they forgot.
Yep, taking it.
And it tastes like it's like sand. It's gritty. Which for me, I'm a fitness,
Chalky,
I'm a
sandy.
fitness, fanatic moron. You could even say obsessive. I don't care what it tastes like. I'll take it.
Yeah, you'll
But
dry powder it, whatever.
Yeah, my clients would come, I got to take a powder. I forget. I've never seen more consistent people than our listeners that are doing the gummies, the creatine gummies.
It's awesome.
Just for adherence and
the choose from Organifi.
And you're getting
Makes it easier.
You're getting a little bit extra calories, so why not? I mean, even more reason if you're trying to put yourself in a little bit of a mini bulk and
tastes good.
build some up. Tastes good. Get your creatine. Be consistent with it. Like, I don't know. That's probably what
you eat like 3 of them with each meal, 3-4 with each meal. You're going to bump you're going to take in like 10 grams of creatine, which is good. No, it works out well. All right. Lastly, here's what your routine would look like for your glutes. Monday, hip thrusts. Wednesday, squat. Friday, deadlift. If you get stronger, which you will, listen, you will get stronger if you follow what we're saying. You'll get stronger in your hip thrust, you'll get stronger in your squats, and you'll get stronger in your deadlift. If at the end of this 30-day period, you've added weight to all of those, your butt's bigger. And the before and after will show it.
What do you say? 3 to 5 sets, depending on like your experience. 3 sets for those each exercises if you're kind of on the beginner side, maybe 4 if you're in the middle, 5 if you're advanced.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, love that.
Go with that.
Love
right?
that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think that would be
And you'll
pretty...
see if your total volume is appropriate, you're eating the way you're supposed to, you'll see week over week strength gains in probably all those lifts.
Now, what's crazy is whenever I get clients to do this, initially they think, and this is why I brought up that point earlier about junk volume, they think this is way less butt stuff. They think that, oh my God, I'm so used to doing all these other exercises.
Don't Google that, by the way.
But sorry, it's always fun.
Sorry.
Not what I meant, Sal.
Yeah, I know. My bad.
But no, they do. They think that, I mean, it's like, how often do we get this when people buy MAPS Anabolic? It's always like a female client who's like, there's not enough volume for my legs. It's like, no, you're doing the right kind of volume.
Get stronger.
You are going to get stronger. You are going to build your legs. You are going to build your butt. This is all that's necessary. No, it does not have you do not need to put a bunch of junk exercises in there to add volume. These are the ones that's going to build the muscle, build the butt, make it bigger, make it rounder, sticking to those and not thinking, don't make the mistake of thinking more is better and then add all this extra junk volume in there.
Just more on the recovery and feeding yourself.
Yes.
And if you're getting stronger, it's working. Don't add. Don't throw a bunch of stuff at it. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see what people come back with this. But this was my formula. This was my formula with my clients. When I had female clients that were like, I just want to get a bigger butt, I'd say, watch what happens. Give me 30 days. Hey, sorry to interrupt. Look, are you struggling to see results with your butt workouts? Are your glutes not responding? We have a secret to a great butt guide. Now, this gives you strategies, exercises, nutrition tips on how you can develop a great backside. You can download it for free right now by clicking on the link below in the description. The hardest part, I'll tell you what the hardest part was for them, was the eating more, because the workouts I had under control.
Butt magician.
Yeah, that like the workouts, they were with me. Like they're going to get a good workout.
Yeah.
The sleep sometimes will be a challenge, but the eating was a tough one. Getting them to bump their calories. They're so afraid of getting all this body fat.
Well, especially 10, 15 years ago when we were training a lot of people.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a little bit different. Like the fact that there's a muscle mommy thing and that women want to build and get strong. That didn't exist 10, 15 years ago, or it was very rare, right, that you would come across that. So it was a constant challenge to convince these clients to eat in a surplus in order to build their butt. Even if they did it for me for a day or two, they would normally back out and be like, I can't keep eating like this. No way.
Dude, how crazy is that study that I brought about the creatine? It was over 60% reduction in symptoms of depression. Wow. They were using, I want to say 10 grams a day. So what they're finding in studies with creatine, 5 grams a day is what's been recommended forever for athletic performance benefits, muscle. They find that 5 grams a day is enough to saturate the ATP in muscle. But they're now showing in studies that because the brain is for lack of a better term,
interesting. Yeah, what's happening?
It's a thirsty organ. It uses up a lot of energy. Okay. Yeah. And what they're finding is 10 to 20 grams a day is needed to saturate creatine levels in the brain.
Now, I'm just skeptical me here, right? And how far did you go down this like study rabbit hole? Like, did you check to make sure these weren't studies funded by the people that are making the creatine to show these benefits and to skew it in a way to make it look, or is it like a control?
No, this actually echoes other studies.
Because this would make a lot of sense, right? The creatine market's super competitive. The margins are weak. You know, we're only getting people to do 3-5 grams. What most of the research says, let's figure out a way to sell 10 grams of it.
It's on multivitamin level at this point.
Is this a very non-biased study?
Yes, and it supports. I'm going to pull up, because what's interesting about this, so I took I wrote down some things about creatine.
By the way, while you're looking that up, I shameless plugged Organifi, but I do believe they have a cool promo going on right now. Don't they, Doug?
They do, yeah. If you buy 3 products, they will include, let me look it up here, free green juice and a fun size Happy Drop.
Oh, that's cool.
Fun size.
Well, so I'm trying to look for it. I don't remember. I don't have it. I can't find it, I should say. But women tend to benefit more from creatine supplementation for depression.
That makes sense because you're typically going to be lower calorie, they probably do lower protein intake, right? So they eat less. So that makes sense.
Yeah, but 61%, you guys, that's pharmaceutical, better than pharmaceutical effects. So in other words, okay, so depression's interesting, right? Depression is very complex. Some of depression is physiological. So if I deplete your brain of energy, you're just going to feel physiologically depressed. Then there's real life things that you should feel depressed about, right? Like stuff happens or whatever. But this is physiological type of depression where you just feel down. You just feel down. And it's a lack of energy to the brain. And supplementing with creatine made a huge difference. That's a huge 61% reduction. Yeah. And it's cheap. Creatine's cheap. It's so inexpensive now. And it's so easy to take.
Between that and like head impact and everything else, protection. So I know for the brain, it's really interesting what they're finding with it.
So crazy. I'm experimenting with higher doses. I don't know if I noticed. I've been taking it for so long, so I don't know. I will tell you this. What though? You brought up MAPS Anabolic. I scaled way back on my workout.
I was just going to ask you, I want a weekly update on this journey for you because it's quite the challenge for you.
Yeah, dude. So I wrestle with it weekly. My volume went down to 5 days a week of like bodybuilding, high volume, and you guys all know I'm trying to like break this the chains of this stronghold on me, right? And I had a huge thing that happened a few weeks ago. And I scaled it down to 2 days a week. And so I'm following MAPS Anabolic, not the 3 day a week version, the 2 day a week version.
So what I saw today, that's one of your 2 days. You're done.
That's it. That's it. Now what's happening is, and this is just for the audience who's interested, for me, I'm trying not to focus on my body, my strength. I'm trying to just do the bare minimum for strength training and then work on mobility because my goal is to get back into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But I'm like, it's making me strong.
I bet.
Strong as hell. Like I'm out there, dude. I was doing pull-ups with 115 pounds strapped
around
my waist.
You were benching 275. I said something to you. I was like, bro, what are you doing over there?
I mean, and I'm eating less. I'm trying not to like go crazy with food because I'm trying to break. But that program is pretty. It works. Who wrote that? No, I'm just kidding. I can't believe how much stronger I'm getting.
Now, are you fine? Like, so I'm assuming if you did once a day, what are your workout days? Monday, Thursday, or Monday?
Typically Monday, Thursday.
Monday, Thursday. Okay. So are you finding yourself having to do something else on the weekends to keep your brain busy or not? Like, what do you?
So here's the truth around all of that is I need to be active because we're so sedentary. I had this conversation with my wife. We sit in here all day long. We're not in the sun. We're under electric lights. Yeah. And if I don't move, and strength training is so protective that I had a protective effect because I would lift in the morning and then come in here. But now that I'm not doing that, I'm going to try walking more. So on the weekend, what I'm doing is really trying to walk a lot. Take the kids to the park twice a day, take them to the far park. I'm probably going to buy a bike so I can start, riding around. Like I just got to move more, man, because we're terribly sedentary, guys. Yeah. So bad.
Move more. I'm feeling that way with like the sun. I just got back from Cabo and we were there for 4 days and just in the sun all day long.
Your skin responds really well.
Bro,
your psoriasis goes away.
I know. It's like, obviously, the vitamin D connection you made a long time ago with for me, telling me that, and it does make a big difference. And it's just rough for me that I don't consistently do that. And it's moments like this where all of a sudden I get like an abundance of it, and then I feel how good I sleep, how amazing I feel. It's like, God, I got to make a conscious effort to get out there. I'm hoping at the new place I have a really nice like kind of backyard setting where and the backyard stays really warm and nice. I'm hoping that Katrina and I got these like nice day beds. Like the thought behind that is like, okay, I'm gonna try and like lay out and do more of that what I didn't do before. I haven't had a pool, and so now I have a pool, and so I'm thinking that might get me to do more of that outside, because you're right, we do this all day long, and then I'm guilty to go inside on the weekend and get moments, but not as much as I should be getting outside.
Dude. And I'll tell you another thing I'm wrestling with. So I'm trying to do my workout, trying to not focus on muscle, size, strength, trying to break this chain. Meanwhile, Justin walks in, and you look like a moose right now. You have put on. Are you weighing yourself?
No, I'm so bad at that
I'm gonna tell you right now. You've gained at least 7 pounds of lean body mass.
Did you not do the thing either?
No, we didn't have that set up.
Asshole.
He's just trying to get stronger.
I know he isn't, but I was so curious.
Bro, his
I'm
delts,
myopically focused.
your delts, your back, and your arms.
I mean,
look
lucky
silly.
it's you who's doing it, because obviously people would expect me to do it, and you probably you're at least the people that are probably paying attention to you are like, they just want to see you get stronger. But I'm curious on like what the actual numbers end up saying, and I think the fact that you don't care was what makes it even more interesting.
Of course.
The fact that
all that matters
is
lift.
all that matters is getting stronger lift, and you're not over here like weighing and tracking and measuring like stuff.
I did. I mean, I weighed in the beginning, and I just didn't do the DEXA and all that, which would have been great. But, because at the end is really where I'll see that's how I always like to do it. It's like I got a goal and I want to just immerse myself in it, and then at the end we can kind of see the.
How's your strength? How much stronger? You got to be a lot stronger just by the way you look.
It's finally really kind of like turned a corner for me. For me, what I realized with my training, now that I'm getting more specific and trying to do the actual push press and the actual jerk press, is getting rid of the eccentric, and
that's making you burn out.
Dude, I was burning out, and it was frustrating because I would get back to like do a few more reps, and it was like, oh my God, I was so taxed, and then I would cut my workout kind of short of what I thought I was going to be doing.
So you're just dropping the weight?
Just dropping it in here. And I was like, I felt bad about it at first. I was like, fuck it.
Are the trainers with clients? Are the trainers with clients?
Yeah. And I'm doing it. And so
it's my gym. I'll do whatever
it's mine. But so this week I'm actually going to be consulting with, Jordan Shallow's buddy, Jordan. I can't pronounce his last name, but he has a gym like down the street in Santa Clara, and he does a lot of Olympic lifting. And so I'm going to go in there and he's going to help sharpen the technique.
Oh, cool.
And help me out with that.
Can you tell us?
Are you going to camera it? Or are you going to take Oh, cool.
Yeah, we'll do a workout.
Can you tell us, is it a secret, or where do you think you're at now? So the goal's 315. What do you think you're moving at?
You haven't reached where you were before.
I haven't pressed it, dude, because I've thrown like 275 up, but I haven't pressed beyond that.
Oh, so you've already pushed 275?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh wow, really?
This guy's a moose over here.
Oh wow. That was
and I did it once, and then I was like, okay, and then I was like,
now wasn't that previously what your highest weight was?
That was my highest in
so
college.
You've already reached that. Oh, interesting. Because originally that's what I would have. If I was you, I would have made that goal.
Hey,
that would just be like,
that would have been reasonable.
If I get back to young me, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
So, can I just say right now,
it's like getting closer to the end. So I'm like, ugh.
This is such a as you get older as a man, there's a part of you that lion inside you doesn't want to die. So the fact that you have 46 now, 45, 45,
45.
Yeah. You hit your previous college best.
Yeah.
That feels good, bro.
How's
your ego feeling?
It did. I don't know. Like,
how was sex
honestly,
that night?
How was sex
that night? I like moved right past. I was like, oh shit, how am I gonna be able to do 315? I didn't even celebrate that at all. Like I was like not
typical Justin.
Yeah. Not there.
You know what else is helping? So remember how I said on the show, Justin gets very motivated by negative, so people are flooding him with comments talking shit to him.
Yeah.
Somebody said,
they are.
Like Sal would already got this.
Yeah. It's working. Everybody talk shit to Justin.
Hey, meanwhile, that's Sal. That's on the other side over there.
Yeah. Just a bunch of fake accounts.
Sal's got a bunch of fake accounts.
I didn't even check.
No, it's not me, dude.
That's what I convinced myself. That's all my negative was. Like, this is just Sal making fake accounts. These people can't really hate me.
All the time
these people can't really hate me that bad, can they?
My wife's like, help me with the kids. No, I gotta talk shit to Adam and Justin.
I'm busy making my fake accounts,
dude. You look, bro. You're getting jacked, dude. This is gonna be exciting.
We'll see where it goes.
Anything that you are learning about yourself? I think you and I talked. Who was the guest when you and we were?
Effordine.
Oh, it was Stan.
Yeah, because you even brought it up today when we were talking about growing your glutes. It's like the junk volume thing for me has been a real thing. Like it's really fried me. Like and I thought I had to do all these things to reinforce and extend my workouts on some level. So I felt like I was still getting strong overall. And it's been actually like having the opposite effect. And so the last week and a half, 2 weeks, I just completely dropped all the junk volume. I've rested a lot more. I took even 2 more days of rest than I normally would have. And I feel strong, dude. Like, I'm like, okay.
Isn't that
it's a sweet spot. It's a lot less than I thought.
Isn't that crazy when we take our own advice? What happens?
Well, I mean, that's a great
I'm on a hustle, dude.
Yeah,
you know,
that's a great fitness tip or single topic. I don't know if we've done something on just talking about junk volume because it's crazy when I think of the things that we get like fitness people that buy our programs, right? New beginners that just trust the process or have listened to the podcast for a long time. They're easy. They get the program. They trust us. They just do it, and it blows their mind. The most challenging people are the people that think they know or that have been lifting, say, for a long time, and then they buy our program and they go, "Oh my God, this isn't enough."
Yep.
And and what they end up doing, I know what they do is they end up modifying it because they think
making it not work.
Yeah, and then they make it a lesser program. And even if they see good results from it, they could have saw better results if they actually truly trusted the process. And that's because of this junk volume that we're all guilty of. We're guilty of thinking, I need to do more because I can do more. Because I can do more is better, right? It's like it's so hard when that doesn't serve you in this pursuit. In the pursuit of getting stronger or body composition, more is not always better. In fact, many times it's the worst thing that you could possibly do. You have to have that.
There's like anxiety there, because you're like,
it's real, man.
You're like, wait a minute, but I don't know if I'm going to be moving forward if I didn't get enough, and so, it's just been really enlightening in terms of like way less than I thought. And not just a little, it's like a lot more rest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to hit it now.
I know, watch it because you barely really focused on that. So give it a couple more weeks and watch. You'll probably.
I almost want my workouts just to be practicing it and literally no other exercise.
You should. Why not?
Fuck with that.
Why not? Yeah. I mean, this is the whole.
It's
we
not like
make for a boring video series, but
it's
all right.
real.
Get the point across, though. You know what I'm saying? It'll really make the point. Like, hey, if that's your goal, then this is what you really distill it down to.
Yeah, the last month might just be that.
Like that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to do that.
Totally. I got to tell you guys a story about my 15-year-old. She impressed. She did something this weekend that I was so proud of her. So she belongs to. You guys know I've talked about my daughter to you guys before. She's a machine, right? She's like a go-getter, super hyper ambitious. Go type of person. Well, anyway, she wanted us to sign her up for this club soccer team because soccer season ended, but she wants to continue playing soccer, even though she's still doing lacrosse. And I'm like, that's too much, whatever. Anyway, she wanted to do it, so we did it. And a lot of the practices have been canceled because of rain. The team there's like too few players on the team, so when they show up on the field, they're like down a man or whatever. So anyway, the time comes to play a game, and they've only had a couple practices, so many have canceled, and she's like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to go. And I'm like, knowing my daughter, like that's totally fine. She doesn't have to go. Actually, in fact, it's probably a good thing that I let her quit something because she's not that type of person. Talked to her mom, and her mom's like, no, she made us pay for it. Let's have her just do one game. And so I told her, I said, you got to go to this game. She's like, fine, I'll go to this game. So we show up. They're down a person. So they're down a person playing another team. And the other team was shitty. Like, this is the worst sportsmanship I've ever seen in my life. They were taunting the girls. At one point, now I'm watching, and, I always make fun of those parents. They get pissed off and jump in or whatever.
Yeah.
But I felt it. These girls were just terrible sportsmanship.
And the coach doesn't step in.
No, man. The
reprimand.
One of the girls at one point she's running with the ball, passes it. Another player from my daughter's team is kind of coming after her. She stops, runs towards the other girl, and shoulders her. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, that's a red card.
Yeah.
Ref gives her a yellow card. And I'm like, but I kept my mouth shut because I wanted to yell across, and then I know what would happen. Other dad would come in, and the way I felt was like, this is going to be
to fight somebody.
Oh, yeah, and I would have been that guy on the video, So I left it or whatever. So as I'm watching this, I'm like, you know what? I'm my daughter, I get why she don't want to, like, I get it. When she's done, I'm going to tell her, you don't have to ever come back, whatever. So the game was over. I talked to the ref afterwards on my own type of deal. My daughter comes up, and I say to her, we never have to come back. I totally get it. She goes, no, I want to come back.
That's
like,
great.
I'm like, what?
She relishes in those moments.
No, she goes, I'm so proud of my team. Everybody, this is her words, her exact words. Everybody maintained composure. The other team was trying to mess with us. We stayed calm. We worked together. I mean, they got obliterated because they were down a person, and nobody could get subbed out. They got exhausted. But she's like, we all maintained composure. We all played together well. She's like, I'm definitely coming back.
Oh, wow.
And that's after I told her,
So you didn't have to.
you don't have to come back. We're
Wow.
done. And I was like, my heart just swelled.
Wow.
I sat her down afterwards and said, let me tell you.
Champion. That's a champion mentality.
That's exactly what I said to her. So let me tell you about a real winner's attitude and mentality and how you exemplified that. And I explained that to her. And she's like, all right, thanks. Did not expect that. So great. So great to see that.
Wow.
Don't you love these lessons they learn?
That's, sports provides.
That's why sports is so sick, bro.
Because it's life.
It's built in.
It's life in 90 minutes.
Exactly. It's built. There's so many important lessons and I get it. Listen, I might have a kid who doesn't like sports, so it is what it is. I got to figure it out otherwise. But I mean, if there's a chance that he plays any sport, I'm about it, because I just think that from every day they have practice to every scenario of winning, taking the starting spot, playing off the bench, coach being good, coach being bad. Like, there's just a scenario. There's a lesson in it, in every single one of those things. And it's not like you can't find lessons in life too, like through other
but how do you
things.
condense it in 90 minutes?
I know. Well, and also it helps. I mean, for parents, I think it helps that it's presented to you, and then you just got to take advantage of it. Otherwise, I'm trying to manufacture it or think of it like, this is a good thing I could sit down and teach my son about.
Processing speed increases in terms of them having to work through and troubleshoot.
Totally.
It's like now you get presented something in life. It develops a little slower, but they recognize it like so much more.
All games are like this, but sports in particular, what they are is life acted out with simple rules in a short period of time. That's all it is. And you learn how to lose. You learn how to win. For example, the other team exemplified terrible winning. Like if I was the father of the girls on that team,
you would coach the daughter.
I'd have been like, "What are you?
You
doing?
don't celebrate like that.
I mean, you don't taunt them that way. You be humble. You play well.
Yeah.
And, that's
what we do.
You get lessons and all that stuff. You get lessons, like she said. We maintain. That's her words. We maintain composure. Wow. So here they are getting their asses kicked. Wow. The other girls are being totally shitty, and they stayed composed. I mean, a couple of them got knocked down, and you should have seen one of the girls gets blasted, boom, hits the ground. Her face even hits the grass. And she stands up, dusts herself off, and you can see her mom stands up, and she tells her mom, "No, mom, sit down." And I'm watching this. I'm like, these girls are.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude, it's so great. But that's why it's so important. And I didn't play a lot of sports as a kid growing up. I got those lessons in other ways, but I see the value in it. So cool. Absolutely incredible. And you got to let them win and lose. By the way, that's the other thing. You don't let them win and lose. I don't know. What do you teach them?
Both lessons.
You had a music study that you were saying.
Oh, you know what? Yes, dude. So
I always love when you bring these.
They did a study on music and its effect on athletic performance, which is pretty cool. I think we all know, everybody knows this, right? That music has an impact. But they actually measured this. So high tempo music that people used, and they measured it against a control group. It improved peak power by 6.3%, mean power by almost 6%, and work capacity by, again, almost 6%. So 6% increase in performance.
Yeah.
Just by.
I mean, you know how significant that is? Like, what do you think? What supplements are maybe 5? Like the best supplements maybe show 5, 10, maybe?
What you're looking for with a supplement is a physiological change, and yet music provides that every single time.
That's what I'm talking about.
And it's measurable.
That's what I mean. I mean, like you're lucky if you were to get that in the best supplement stack in the world, yet you can put effort into the right playlist going in and get just as much, if not more results every single time. Like, that's so cool.
It's crazy too when you look at the data on that. We all know this. We all know what it feels like. For example, for me as a kid, I was a big Rocky fan, and Rocky 4 in particular, where he goes against the Russian. There's those montage videos. Yeah. If you play any of that music while I'm working out, I'm going to. I can't stop it. I can't control it. So we all know what that feels like. But what's happening in the brain? The brain gets lit up in some very interesting ways. Like, music helps us remember things. It changes how we perceive objective things. So like, you're out in the world and the right kind of music will make you perceive things in a more positive way, or in a more sad way, or in a more angry way, or it'll help you feel what you're supposed to feel, or help you battle through feelings that are really challenging. It's very, very powerful.
I wonder how much of it is compounding too. So we already know, like in a controlled environment and study, it'll show play this type of music, whatever, like you said, and you'll get 6% more. What happens when, and we'll use your Rocky analogy. The first, like you put that together, so you're getting ready to do your lift, and you listen to your rock music, and you PR, or you win the game, you score the main goal. Like now you have that
reinforcing.
Now you have this memory the next time you go in, right? I'm gonna get ready to start again, and when that rock music going, not only did it already jazz me up, but it also connects to that time I won the championship or I hit that PR. Like you would think there's some sort of compounding effect that would happen outside of just with the control. The control is like, hey, play this kind of music, and they'll get 6% more. But what if you have a direct relationship to that music that has rewarded you? There's got to be something there.
Or you're like, I did have this in one of my latest like videos where everybody was practicing for the webinar, and so I couldn't play music, and so I did the whole workout without any music, and basically was like, I'm raw dogging my workout today. And it was bad. Like it definitely affected my strength output. Like because I was. There's a bit of it too if you like you ritualize it and you're like really leaning on it. Like it was a big driver for me in that regard. But yeah, it's like, I mean, you can do without it, but it really does. Like some people I think are more responsive to it as well.
It evokes emotion.
I've canceled a workout because my headphones are dead.
I got home. That's awful, dude.
I've literally been there to work out and been like, my headphones are dead. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this.
I adjust my music based on what I'm trying to do. If I'm trying to go,
I do the same thing.
If I'm trying to go easy, I definitely can't listen to music. That
There's certain music I listen to when it's get after it. Certain when I know, which I think is also a very powerful tool. You think about. I mean, I'm sure this is like a lot of the science that goes to like Brain FM. How
that's I was just going to go.
How they have the ability to have one that's more focused, one that's more sleep. There's definitely
what Brain FM scientists did is they studied how sounds and music affect the brain. And what they did with subjects is they said, okay, this is what, because we know this now. We have now a lot of data to support this. You can look at brain wave patterns of somebody who's focused. You can look at brain wave patterns of someone who's asleep, someone who's meditating, right? You can look at those and you can identify them. In other words, they could hook you up to a machine that measures your brain waves, and scientists in the other room can look at it and tell you what's happening. Oh, he's asleep. Oh, he's focused right now. Oh, he's meditating right now, or whatever. So what Brain FM did is they reverse engineered it, and they said, can we play sounds that produce this brainwave pattern that we know is focused? And that's exactly what they did. So when you play, so this is what their studies show. They'll put people and have them listen to focus. And within, 10 to 15 minutes, for me at least, it takes about 10 minutes. If I put on focus, at first I'm like, okay, I'm listening to it. I don't notice anything. About 10 minutes into it, I'm like,
locked in.
Yes, dude. I'm locked in it works because it induces this brainwave pattern that then is what we know those things look like. So all they did was they reverse engineered things, had their scientists and AI engineer sounds and music that produce that. So
they already kind of knew that with classical music. There was definitely that response with your brain connectivity and like the way that you could hyper focus on something. And then they added that extra element engineering behind and wrapping it behind it. And it's just like, wow, they really got me on that.
Now, if you guys were to go, like if I were to check each one of your cars, your stereo at home, your playlist for your headphones, like would I find all the same exact genre, or would I find at right now this car has that on it and that stereo has that on it? Like, do you guys cycle through a lot of genres, or are you like? I know Justin's pretty consistent. Doesn't matter if it's 6 o'clock in the morning. It's fucking death metal is on probably almost any time except for
a very wide swath. I know it seems like that, but I have like
you like classical. I know
love classical. I love and I actually. When you get your Spotify results at the end of the year, it's always more of like surf rock. And
okay.
I was like always surprised by that. But whenever I'm like just trying to, have an easy go of it, like over the weekend or whatever, I'm just like always listening to like more kind of Sublime or like, stuff like that. But,
okay.
But yeah, I do listen to a lot of metal, like, cause metal drives me here. Yeah. Metal drives my workouts. Like metal is like what I used to play. And so, like, you guys probably hear that the most for sure.
What about you? How's your genre?
Well, these days it's all worship music. These days.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you're all of that. Right. I forgot you're like.
You know what it is too, because there's a wide variety of worship music. Because I found
because you can find country in that. You can find rock.
And what it it is the lyrics.
Does he do the same thing to you? He knows my genre, and so he'll send me like a Christian version of that.
Yeah.
He's like, I know you like this.
Well, it's fun. It's fun because like I'm like Sal's just kind of getting it. Like there's a whole bunch of bands that like Christian metal that nobody even knows about, and so I'm like, oh, check this out. You know?
I found this group Spirit Box, and I sent it to him because he likes that.
I've been into them for a long time.
Yeah, and then there's that one. God, what's that song called that I sent you? It's like a
country.
It's like a classic rock song. Joe Rogan talked about it. That's how it got popular again. It's an old song.
Yeah.
Why don't you look into Jesus, Larry Norman?
Yeah.
So
that's good. That's good.
That 70s rock.
That
was great.
But it's the lyrics that get me. You know.
So you're okay. So that just, I mean, this.
But I can still listen to EDM.
No. I know you. We could all like that, but I mean, like that. I just was curious about everybody's like behavior. So you're very much so which explains a lot because you're like this with a lot of other things. You're into it. You're into it everywhere. It's like I'm into this right now, and so I'm listening to it on all platforms at all times, and so that's kind of how you listen to music. Doug, what about you with your genres? I you have
it varies dramatically. Yeah. So if I'm driving and the windows are down, it'll be
Gangsta
one thing. Yeah, pretty much. No, I mean like rock, classic rock. I like that. Like on dinner time, I'll have jazz playing.
Yeah.
Classical, I like that. Of course, lately I've been doing a lot of shakuhachi music, listening to that because.
What's that? Is that what the flute?
So that's the flute. Yeah. So I've been
his instrument. Yeah.
So what I'll do at night is I'll listen to that as I do calligraphy. I mean, I'm just like.
Oh, that's perfect.
Totally nerding out, but
that's great.
But it gets me ready for bed.
Good.
Yeah.
So it varies dramatically.
Did you say jazz for while you're cooking?
Eating typically. Eating.
That's
cooking.
Jazz seems to be a good like food.
Jazz is the best. I probably play jazz
like
the most.
Background. Yeah,
it's perfect. The reason why it's so good for background music is because you can have there's no lyrics.
Yeah.
So you can have a conversation and we can be hearing it. Versus even your favorite music you like, if it's got
you still grab
words. Yeah. I'm talking to someone and you hear other words. It's just distracting versus just nice jazz music. So you and I probably listen to the widest range then of different stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much like anything.
Yeah.
As long as it's not way out there.
You would be hard pressed to find two because I have different stereos, right? You'd be hard pressed to find two of them on the same genre. That's how wide I am. Like from each car probably be like even like different cars are different moods for me. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain that stuff that's more aggressive, then there's more chill. So like everything is different. I like talent. So someone was teasing me the other day about like the different type of music I like. I'm like, I mean, I don't know. Like I'm open to almost anything if you're talented. If the right person introduces me to a genre and says like, listen, and you introduce me to a talented person that does a genre, there's a good chance you might give me.
Especially if there's emotion in it.
Can you try something for me? Just do something for me. I would love to see it. When you're driving the Ferrari, can you play opera?
Opera?
Yeah, Italian opera.
Oh, I would try it.
Just with your gloves.
I mean, I like Careless Whisper is like the top of my playlist on that, and that's kind of it's not opera, but I mean, it's
I want Italian opera. Like you don't even understand the lyrics.
Send me a lot of 80s pop.
Send me a song, and I'm open to it. I mean, I feel like that could be a good vibe right there.
Andrea Bocelli or Pavarotti. Yeah.
Give me a sound. Can I hear it? I want to hear what. I don't know if I'm familiar with it.
Put Bocelli on. He's got great. You recognize
Italian opera's great.
You might see. Here's a perfect example. Someone who is like brilliantly talented like that. And
it'll make you cry, bro. You'll be driving, you start crying. That's what's going to happen. Oh, this is so beautiful.
In your Italian car.
Yeah, I think it's great.
So speaking of crying, I want to give an update on our buddy Callum, right? So Callum Ferris, he's the kid, 15-year-old, listens to the show.
Shout out to our audience.
Yeah,
bro.
no, I'm
brain
so
cancer.
stoked on our audience.
And he's a huge fan. He's got brain cancer. His family's just around. They asked for prayers. We put it out there. People went to their Instagram and the comments, man. I went through the comments of our fans going over there. And it was just so.
I couldn't even read them all. I read them all. Sorry, it starts to get me all emotional.
Very touching.
What a great kid.
Really cool to see the audience rally and go over there and show support, show love. I know that his GoFundMe was blowing up.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people.
So their Instagram is SJ and Ferris. Please go there, say nice comments to them. It's really lifting their spirits. And they do have a GoFundMe for alternative treatment is what they're trying.
Yeah.
But our audience has already gone over there and helped out quite a bit.
That's
so,
cool.
Yeah,
Super cool.
Yeah,
and the parents are unbelievably grateful. So,
Yeah.
thank our audience for being so cool.
Probiotics have been shown in studies to help with fat loss, muscle recovery, of course, gut health, skin health, mental health. If you're not taking a probiotic, something's wrong here. They work. The only problem is which one do you take? Well, the best one in the world, hands down, is Seed. Seed is the only probiotic company we fully support. Go check them out. Go to seed.com/mindpump. Use the code 25mindpump. Get 25% off your first month's supply of Seed's Daily Symbiotic. All right, back to the show.
Our first caller is Jay from Florida.
What's up, Jay?
What's going on, Jay?
What's happening?
You guys, been really enjoying the show. I've been on my own journey over the past year, and you guys have super helped. I had a few questions.
All right.
Let's hear 'em.
You guys talk about eating your protein, followed by your veggies, followed by the carbs, right? And it totally makes sense to me if you're going to a buffet, if you're going to a family style dinner. If you're meal prepping and being really calorie restrictive, does that matter as much? Any advice from that perspective?
Yeah.
Along with, one more I'm going to throw in there. When you're trying to get your protein counts in, is it pre-cooked or post-cooked? Because the stuff, 20% loss after cooking. And what do the labels talk to?
Yeah, post-cooked. You could do it pre. It's more about being consistent with whatever one you choose. And I just find that post-cooking, when it's not...
Yeah, when you're using an app, it'll typically say 6 ounces of beef raw or 6 ounces of beef cooked. So depending on what app you're using, it'll typically discern between cooked or raw, typically. But it's usually cooked because people don't eat 6 ounces of raw ground beaf, right? So it's typically cooked.
Yeah. It's most all the apps are basing it off of what's cooked. So that's an easy one. And then if you're eating or if you're measuring out, weighing, and you're in the restricted diet, I still would give that advice. Because what happens is, assuming that one of the meals you're not that hungry and you don't finish, if you don't finish a little bit of your veggies, not a big deal. If you don't finish a little bit of your carbs, not a big deal. If you miss your protein intake and that becomes a consistent habit, that's a big deal. Okay. So even if I have a client who isn't at a buffet or isn't just kind of intuitive eating and we are tracking, measuring everything, I still am going to give that suggestion because I'm trying to create good behaviors like that. Because at one point, if I was your trainer, I would move you away from measuring and weighing your food forever. Like, I don't want you to do that forever. The goal is to do it right now, to create good habits, to get good ideas of what good portions it is. So we may as well start to build those behaviors now so that when we release the measuring, weighing, tracking, everything like that, you've just trained yourself that I always eat my protein first, then I go to my veggies, and I go to carbs, and it becomes second nature. You don't even think about it anymore.
How about, if I can ask another one, how about pre-post workout, like eggs, some type of lean meat versus like protein shakes? Is there a better order before kind of strength training, where you should do the eggs in the morning, strength train, then do the protein shake, vice versa? Any thoughts on that?
You're splitting hairs, and really protein shakes, you want to look at them as convenience more than anything. Okay, so whole foods always better. Yep. But protein shakes are good for convenience. And the reason why people like shakes post-workout is because they're often at the gym and they're on their way home and they took it with them. It's in their gym bag and they can just really easily shake it up. If you live close to the gym, you don't want to do that. You drive home, eat real fast, not a big deal. So it's really,
awesome.
It's nothing to focus on. We don't want to get caught up in these minor details, when it comes to nutrition. But, with what Adam said, it really is just, you don't want to miss your protein. There's no magic to eating order aside from the satiety effect of protein, and aside from the fact that it's more important to not miss protein than it is for the other macronutrients. That's really it. But aside from that, all things being equal, your eating order, there's no magic to it aside from what we just said.
Awesome. You got time for one more for me?
Yeah.
So I've kind of plateaued, right? And I've listened to you guys about reverse dieting. I'm working with my trainer to kind of increased reps and more weights. I walk a lot. I live in Miami Beach, so we typically have beautiful weather. I'm getting about 20,000 to 25,000 steps a day in rucking vests, weighted vests. Worth it? Helpful?
No.
Am I just gonna look okay? So I don't need to look like a moron walking around Miami Beach.
Totally.
No, unless you're training for like rucking, and you need to get good at an event that involves carrying a heavy backpack.
That's about
it. You're just what you're going to get. What most people get walking with weighted vests is like plantar fasciitis or some other issue, because there's a biomechanic difference in walking with a vest, and it's a skill. I don't recommend it to anybody.
Did that episode go live? We just did a fitness tip on that.
I think we did.
Did that go live, Doug?
I don't know. I have to check that.
Dylan, you know if that went live?
Yeah, we don't know if it went live.
We actually just talked about this. So that's I'm trying to find out if the episode went up yet or not. But we just had a long conversation of why we think it's like
I think
overrated.
That was with Jen Cohen. Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, yeah. It was.
You're right.
true.
You're right.
Yeah, we'll
So
bring it up again.
it hasn't gone live. So you'll hear it soon. We get into like
Awesome.
detail of why.
Mm-hmm.
Are you Jay? Are you following? I know you have a trainer. Does your trainer follow MAPS programs? What are you like kind of currently doing?
So we do 3 days a week of full body.
Okay.
Strength training. I've lost about 25 pounds of fat, gained about 5 pounds of muscle in the past year and a half.
Man.
Awesome.
So, and I just feel like, now that was hard, but now the real hard part is to get from the 28 to 20%, now to get down to like 16, 70% body fat. I feel like it's a whole nother level of commitment that I've got to do, but I'm focused on getting there.
Jay, I'm gonna be straight up with you. What you already did was the hardest part. The beginning, the consistency, learning the habits. Now you just stay consistent. You're going to get there. You're totally going to get there. The biggest mistake you can make is rushing it. Don't rush it. You're there. You got the rest of your life to work out. It's happening. It's already happening. That's great. 25 pounds of fat plus 5 pounds of muscle. That's incredible.
Stay the course, yeah.
The reason why that's such good advice is because even where you want to go right now, you think is the end destination, but when you get there, you're just going to move the goalpost anyways.
That's everything in life, right?
Yeah, no. So totally, you're killing it already. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the journey. You're creating good habits and behaviors already. It sounds like you got a pretty good trainer. I think that you're right on pace.
Yep.
I mean, I'd love to give you a program. I just don't know. I don't know. Like I know sometimes trainers get offended by stuff like that. So I don't know if he's open to following one of our programs. If he is, then I'd love to be able to give you one.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I told him he's got to start listening to you guys also to help grow his business. So, if you think there'd be one given where I'm at right now, absolutely love to take a look at it. And we'll share it with him also.
All right. So do you like the 3 day a week type of deal? Because there's a lot of different options that we can do. Or do you want to stick to 3 days a week?
I like 3 days a week with him. And then I typically work out on my own 2 to 3 other days a week, plus pickleball in the evenings. So like I'm totally open to doing more.
Jay, where's
some ideas around there.
Where's your calories at right now? What are you at?
I'm trying to be sub 2000, 17, 1800. I will say some days I go above that, but I'm trying to be around 1800 or so.
Okay.
And I'm having challenges. I'm about 165 pounds right now. Getting 165 grams of protein is not easy.
Yeah,
it is a lot of protein.
It's not, but you just gave me some really good information on why we're at our plateau where we're at right now. Okay, you're training 6 days a week. You're playing pickleball. You're doing 15 to 20,000 steps a day, and you're eating sub 2,000 calories. You are due for a reverse diet and a build. And this is hard always when you take someone who's lost 25 pounds and is deathly afraid of going back to that weight. But what you need to do right now is reverse diet. You need to increase calories. You need to build muscle, and that should be the focus. That is what's going to break through this plateau the fastest.
Yeah.
And this is all. By the way, this is inevitable. Anybody who has to lose more than 20 pounds in their journey, at some point, the just cutting calories, moving more, eventually levels out. And normally it levels out well before you've got your ideal physique or body that you were going for. And so reverse diet is where we're at right now. It is time to slowly increase calories and really focus on, and you training that many days and that much activity is making it more challenging for ourselves. So I would recommend a program switch to something very different than what you're currently doing, and a slight increase in calories.
And is that increase in like protein-based calories? I mean, that's like healthy calories.
A little bit of you some protein, but some carbs you could have in there as well, because you're already eating a decent amount of protein. But you would add 150 calories a week. And you could hold it for a few weeks and then go up another 150. But I'd like to see you get up to like 2,600 calories with more strength. And then we could start cutting again. It'll make the fat loss possible. Right now, you're already so low, dropping to the 5%, like where are you going to end up? 1,000 calories? Like that's not going to be good.
Awesome. I appreciate it. I know you guys have done some videos and podcasts on it.
Yes.
So I'm going to kind of go through the archive and
Yes.
listen to them.
I tell you what, Jay, we'll do this. Definitely do that, because we have talked in detail about this, and we've answered a lot of questions around people in a similar situation. So I'm going to have Doug give you access to our private forum. That way you have access to us. Go do your homework, watch some of the videos where we've talked in detail this, and then if you got questions, hit us up in the forum and just tag one of us, and then we'll help you through this.
Awesome. And hopefully 4-6 weeks I can come back on and tell you how great the results are.
Yeah, that's right. Dude. That's what I want to hear.
Thanks, guys. Keep up everything you're doing. It's really great for the community in the world.
Awesome,
really appreciate it.
Take it easy, Jay.
Have a good one.
I'm so glad you asked that.
Yeah.
I mean, for people listening, he's a 165 pound, 165 pound male. He's been training and losing weight for a year. He's down to 1,800 calories. Wants to drop another 5%. Where are we going to go? More activity?
And he's got 6 days of working out pickleball
so he's gonna have to
and 20,000 steps.
He's going to work out more and eat less? Like, we know where that's going to
no more
end.
levers left.
No. We got to build. He's got to add. I would aim for another 5 pounds of lean body mass, keep his body fat relatively stable, although he probably will see it get leaner anyway, and then cut again. Yeah. Otherwise, he's going to end up where most people end up, which is this hard plateau. They try, push. Their body, just revolts on them, and they gain a bunch of weight again.
Yeah, I would love to see him run something more like MAPS Anabolic, which is a true 3-day-a-week program. Yeah. And then his other 2 days, he can do triggers. So, MAPS Anabolic, bump your calories at least to 150 to 300 calories. And if, pickle, I don't want to take pickleball away because it's something you love. So I keep you doing that. But really focus on trying to get strong. Like he has to. That's just this, or else he'll be in this plateau for a long time. So I'm glad we got to the bottom of that.
Our next caller is Jessica from Arkansas.
Hey, Jessica.
Hello.
Hello. How are you guys doing?
Good. How you doing?
Great.
Doing good. I first want to start off saying, sorry if we get interrupted. I've got 3 boys that I homeschool, and who knows what's going to happen.
Good for you.
Right.
Good for you.
Right. I'll just get into it. Here is the little script that I put in. I was regularly feeling exhausted after my Muscle Mommy workout. I did it 3 times a week. I started doing 1 less set for all of the exercises. When I did this, I started feeling more energy after my workout. Is this a good way to modify the workout, or will it hinder my progress? And then what is the significance of 3 sets versus 2 sets? And would it be better to cut the weight down versus cutting a set?
Oh,
no, great job.
Good job.
Great job what you did.
You're intuitively right.
That is 100% a great way to modify a workout.
Where you feel that way.
In fact, had you stuck with the 3 sets and feeling exhausted, that would have hindered your progress.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you did exactly the right thing. Now, may I suggest another one of our programs? You're a mom. You got 3 boys at home. You're homeschooling. So it's a lot of work. My wife homeschools. We have 2 kids, and only one of them's a boy. I know that boy energy can be crazy. May I suggest?
Lots of wrestling at our house.
May I suggest MAPS 15 as another option for you as well? I think that would be I think you would get great results with something like that, and you can follow it after Muscle Mommy. But I think that'd be a great program for someone.
Or what I would do is switch you to that right now. After you do that, then maybe move you to Muscle Mommy, since you're already reducing the sets and the volume right now of Muscle Mommy. The volume in MAPS 15 is less, so I think it'll serve you more. And you can always scale up later. But what you did was great. You intuitively reduced the sets, which is going to reduce the volume when you were feeling exhausted, and then your body responded the way it should. So that was great.
There is no
awesome.
There is no magical significance of 3 sets. The reason why you tend to see 3 sets in programming is it's a nice balance. Typically gives
Good
you
volume.
a couple sets of doing the exercise before you get to the last set, and you go. But really, there's no 2 sets is fine. 5 sets is fine. It's got to be appropriate for the individual. So there's there's no magic to the number 3 with that.
Okay, I am not a trainer and am fairly new to weightlifting, so I was not sure if that was the right thing to do or not.
No, great.
No, you did it great. You listened to your body. Keep doing that.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, actually, I listened to you guys and tried to do what you said. So
Yeah, good,
Yeah,
good.
right.
yeah, no, great job.
I'll send you Mass 15. I think you'll love that program too. It's a 6 day a week, but it's very short workouts every day.
Yeah.
And the volume is just great for most people.
awesome. Well, thank you. While I have you on here, I just wanted to say thank you guys for doing this. It really, what you talk about resonates with me. And I even enjoy your training episodes, your trainer episodes, because when I listened to it, something that stuck with me, because, I'm just a normal average mom. And I had to meet myself where I was at with my fitness journey. And it just really stuck with me. And Sal always says not that you can't hate your body into what you want it to be and think it's going to stick. So it's really helped me and I appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Yeah,
That's
thank you
awesome.
so
That's
much.
amazing.
Thank
Thank
you. Good job.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I have. So I will get the Max 15 then.
Yeah.
So
Love
shoot
to hear
that over.
Love to hear back from you after you go through that. Love to hear what the results are like for you. So follow up with us. Just let us know how you're doing, Jessica.
awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank
You got
All
it.
right, go wrangle those boys. Yeah.
Sweet woman. What a humble woman. I'm just a regular mom. Like, you got your boys at home.
Just a regular mom. Just a regular mom having homeschooled 3 boys.
Yeah, dude.
Just throwing down.
It's funny. It's funny when summer's over. There's like a big joke, right? When summer's over, you got like all the parents are like, "Whoa, send them back to school. I can't have them home all day long." Type of deal.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of work. I taking a set off made it tolerable, but I think less than that would probably be ideal.
That's why I said switch to it right now.
That's right.
Switch to it right now. And then if you want, after that, and you're feeling better, more momentum, maybe try Muscle Mommy, but it may 15 maybe
ramp up to
perfect.
Yeah, maybe perfect. Maybe just the right amount of volume with everything you got going on. And I think she will potentially see great results just from that.
Our next caller is Tim from Virginia. Is that correct?
Yes.
What's up, Tim?
What's happening?
How you doing, man? How can we help you?
Hey, how are you guys?
Good.
All right.
I just want to say first, it's awesome to talk to you guys. I've been listening to every show for about a year now. I started a fitness journey about a year ago, and my coach Allison turned me on to your podcast, and it's been great. Watching and listening to every episode. So for my question, like I said, I started a fitness journey about a year ago. I'm down 75 pounds so far.
Nice.
About 4 months ago, I really started focusing on strength training. And so my question was, like, when should I change up my programming? Like, how do I know when I need to change, like, routines and stuff like that?
What a good question, and great job, dude.
Yeah.
75 pounds. That's exceptional. You must feel so much different and better.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So much more energy. I started out about 350, and I'm down to about 275 now.
Wow.
Great job, man.
Hell yeah.
Great job.
Is Allison writing your workout programs? Is she training you, or is she just doing diet with you?
Yeah, she's helped me along with the training some, especially with steps and kind of in the right direction with strength training.
Okay.
And then a lot on nutrition, like making sure I'm hitting my calories, the right amount of protein,
Good.
eating whole foods and stuff like that.
It sounds like you're working with her virtually, like she's an online coach. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason why I ask is the best way to know when to modify your programming is if a trainer's with you and can see on the fly when to modify. But besides that, I mean, honestly, you don't have to overthink this. Every few months is a good idea to kind of change the programming. Now, this can get a bit complex because it's like, wait, well, what do I change? Like, do I do different exercises? Is it the sets? Is it the reps? And I'll say to you, Tim, what's easy for you would be to follow one of our programs and then follow another program and then follow another program. And we write them different enough to provide you what you're looking for with changes in programming. Okay, so I would say once a year or so, a MAP symmetry or MAPS performance would be a good idea. Yep. And then in between that, you can follow any one of our programs. So it's usually every 3 months or so where you kind of change the focus.
How many days are you lifting in the gym right now? And then we'll send you a program that matches that cadence.
Right now, I do at least 3 days in the gym. I try to add in another one if I can, but usually it's at least 3. I did actually just recently pick up MAPS Anabolic to try it.
Perfect.
Good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You're good, dude.
Great one to run.
Let me send you MAPS. Let me send you MAPS Performance
right after that.
So after you're done with Anabolic, follow Performance, and you'll be good.
Okay, awesome.
And by the way, you could literally toggle back and forth between those two forever. Yeah. But if you want to do some different stuff, reach back out to us and we can talk about other programs. But those two programs together really cover all the bases of just overall strength, function, endurance, everything you're going to need to be healthy, fit, strong. Those two can do that for you. And the way we phase it, it's changing a little bit every month. So it's not like you're following the exact same thing all the time through the whole program. We phase everything, the reps and the sets and the exercises in each program. There's like 3 different phases, 4 in performance. So those two, you could follow those indefinitely. So we'll send over performance, follow that after anabolic, but anabolic is the perfect one for you to start.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. And Tim, if you don't mind, we have listeners that listen that, 75 pounds is a big accomplishment, and we have listeners that are listening that have that much weight to lose or more. Anything you'd like to say to them, because you've been at this now for a year, any piece of advice or encouragement you can give them as they start their own journey?
Just to take the leap and go for it, and get in the mindset. You definitely need a good support system. I mean, between my wife and then my coach Allison. They're always there to support and help, push me along on days that, I maybe don't want to go to the gym or something, especially like my wife makes sure that I have time to make it to the gym and stuff. So,
that's great, man.
Great advice.
Thank you, Tim. Great advice.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Take it easy, Tim.
All right.
He gave the best advice. If you look at the data on what is most
Support
likely
system.
What is most likely to help you maintain consistency over time? It's what you said, Justin. It's a support system. And trainers and coaches are good at this because they're good support. They're also trained and experienced in supporting exactly this, which is a pursuit of health and fitness. This is why we always say the best investment you can make. If you're going to spend any money on anything for your health and fitness, the most valuable thing by far, doesn't even come close, is a good coach or a good trainer. By far. They're the most likely to guarantee success.
Well, this is also why we evolved the business in the direction that we did with coaches and trainers underneath us, is that this was something that was kind of inevitable, that we would get here at one point where this is probably the most needed thing. Like, we've done a lot with the podcast and the programs to help a lot of people. The next level or layer to that is being able to provide a trusted source who can help them with nutrition and exercise through that process.
That's right. In fact, let me add to that. If you're watching this, and because everybody's always like, well, how do I know? Who do I find? If you want to call in and be on one of these episodes and your question is, what kind of coach should I look for? This is a great place. We'll help you out.
Our next caller is Jamie from North Dakota.
What's up, Jamie?
How you doing, Jamie?
What's happening?
Hey, guys. Hello from snowy North Dakota, where winter is still reaping its benefits for us here. Thanks for having me. I just want to say, obviously, I don't want to take a lot of time saying I'm a huge fan. I've literally listened to almost all your episodes in the last couple of years as I've lost a significant amount of weight. I was just laughing to myself that I need you guys to talk really fast because I'm so used to listening in 1.5 speed. So it might be a little odd hearing your actual normal cadence. Anyway, I've currently I'm a 46-year-old man, 6'2". I currently weigh 340 pounds. My highest weight about three and a half years ago was 652 pounds.
Wow.
So I've lost about 310 pounds.
Wow.
Over the last couple of years. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey. Done it through help. GLP-1 drugs kind of got me started, but I've just really used them as a tool. And so I lift 4 days a week and have now for the last year and a half. I also walk a ton, generally about 12 to 15,000 steps every day. And so I've had just incredible weight loss. I've gotten significantly stronger, all great things. The problem, the reason I reached out to you guys is, as part of that weight loss, I've lost a lot of, or I have a lot of excess skin that I'm going to eventually have to have plastic surgery to remove, because there's just no way that it's going to go away on its own. And so sort of the problem that I'm dealing with now, and I see this happening because I'm not done, I'm probably going to lose another, I don't know, maybe 50 pounds, 75 pounds before I stop for 6 months. And yeah, you have to be at a stable weight for a while before you can get a surgery. Anyway, so the skin is beginning to become a bit of a problem. It's causing some imbalances. I have everywhere: thighs, stomach, chest, arms. I'd have jacked arms if I didn't have the skin hanging down. I have like the world's strongest triceps, I think. But anyway, it's causing some imbalances, particularly when I'm walking, when I'm lifting. I sort of describe it like if you were to wear a hoodie and you have a bunch of stuff in the pockets, especially if like you have a lot of stuff in one pocket, a little bit more than the other, and you're walking around and moving, it kind of like shuffles around on you. And that's what I'm experiencing. So anyway, you guys have been around a long time. You've dealt with a lot of clients. Curious what advice you have so I don't lose the progress I've had and keep getting better over the next couple of years of my life.
Is it bothering you when you lift too, or is this mostly like when you're doing cardio and walking and things like that? Like, is it bothering you all the time?
Cardio, never heard of her. No. So yeah, it's definitely affecting me when I'm walking. It's beginning to affect me when I'm lifting too, particularly if I'm doing anything where it's not a big deal if I'm sitting and doing rows or something, but if I'm standing, squatting, stuff like that, it's just definitely causing a little bit of an imbalance. And so it's mostly when I'm walking, but it's definitely beginning to affect lifting as well.
So this is a very unique question. It's a good question.
This is where I'd love to have you as a client, where we would modify on the fly. You would tell me, Adam, this feels this way, this is bothering me. I'd be like, we could do this instead. Yeah. Are you working with a trainer by any chance?
I am working with the trainer. Peter is really great. We've sort of built our own program, and it started with, I was very limited on what I could do at first. And I had knee issues, which I eventually got some PT treatment for that helped significantly. So I do have a trainer, train with him 2 days a week, and then on my own 2 days a week.
That's great. That's great. By the way, exceptional job. Yeah. I mean, that's really such an exceptional job. I've never had anybody lose 300 pounds, but I did work with someone who lost 200 pounds. And I remember this specific issue, which is funny because I forgot all about it. And as you're talking about it, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that this was brought up. And what we did, we had to modify while we were training. Yeah. And really it's about, the best thing I can tell you is some exercises are gonna be better than others. It depends on the individual. This is a very unique issue. And we would be very controlled with our movements. Yeah. So I would watch my client and I would modify on the fly, and we would slow things down to kind of correct for some of the stuff. The other thing I could tell you, I didn't have this accessible to me 15 or it's got to be at least 15 years ago or more when I worked with this individual. I didn't have peptides accessible to me that could help with the recovery process post-surgery or skin removal surgery. So you're already working with a peptide, a GLP-1. I would look at GHK, thymosin beta, BPC 157. Those peptides can help with the post-surgery recovery and the skin healing process. And so I would look at those as part of the protocol after you do get your skin removal surgery. But the best advice I could give you is to have your trainer modify your form, because they're going to be able to do a better job than I can right now talking with you through video and through that process of just kind of modifying on the fly. Because what I would do with my client is I would have to adjust their stance. Right. I would have to adjust where their hips would go.
They might be standing. They might be sitting.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's 20 plus exercises for every movement, right? So and this highlights such a value of a good personal trainer is we would be going through this and you'd be like, hey, Adam, this is bothering me, or I can't see. And then I'd be like, okay, I've got 10 other exercises that I'm trying to accomplish, I could do to accomplish what I want to do. And we just might have to kind of play with them until you're like, okay, good, that feels right. And then they're like, cool, this is what we're doing.
Yeah. But just so that just to give you a little bit of ease here or put you at ease, while you're walking and moving and it feels awkward or imbalanced, so long as it's not causing pain, compensations are not necessarily a bad thing. They exist for a reason. And so right now your body's compensating to allow you to move with some of this excess skin that maybe causing you to be a little bit heavier on one side, the other, or whatever. There's nothing necessarily wrong with compensations as long as you're not noticing pain. In other words, let's say you do develop some compensations to allow you to walk and do certain exercises, and then you get the skin removed. Now you could start doing correctional exercise or following a program like MAP Symmetry to balance things out, because your body won't lose its ability to adapt. So it'll adapt to how you're shaped now. It'll adapt to how you'll be shaped later on after the skin removal surgery as well. So that's just something else to keep in mind. I wouldn't worry too much about it unless it's causing pain, in which case then you would modify.
Jamie, I'd love to have Doug put you in our private forum, so that if there are any of these challenges, because if you present them to us as they come, like, hey, I was doing this yesterday, guys, and this and this happening, and then we could like address that specific thing in the moment. We're here to support you, dude. So if we can get you in there, and then you come up with some of these things like that, just message and tag one of us or all of us, and one of us will get to you and help you through this. Incredible to see how far you've come already, dude. So excited.
I appreciate it. Yeah. And thanks, guys. You guys I appreciate over time you become much more supportive about peptides, about GLP-1. I know there are some people who are using it, abusing it, not doing the work with it. But there are some of us out here who are really just see this as a tool, and it's cool to have you guys see that and have content about it. It's made a difference, certainly for me, and I'm sure it has for plenty of other folks as well.
No, I appreciate you saying that, Jamie.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, what was the impetus to get you to really get on this journey of weight loss, and then what's helped you? I know the GLP-1 helps, but I've worked with enough people to know that it's a lot more complicated than just using a GLP-1. I think it started with 3 years ago. I was 43, and I've been big. I've been big forever. My highest, like I said, was just over 650, but I've been over 500, 550 for 20 years. I looked around and realized there was nobody my size who was in their 50s. They were all dead. And I knew I was going to die. Even though I had like good numbers in my blood work and all that, I knew that I was going to die early. That was the overarching. And then, to be honest, my mobility got really, really bad. I mean, and I don't talk about it with a lot of people, but I'm becoming more open about it. Like, I needed a walker to get up off the toilet. I would break a sweat in the shower. Just showering was a cardio workout for me. And I sort of realized, like, this is not only am I going to die early, which sucks, but that my last 5 years are going to be horrifically bad. And I just made a decision that if I'm going to die young, I'm going to die at least trying. And so it was life-changing. And I realized mobility is something where use it or lose it. And I wasn't using it. And I bet I was 6 months away from being one of these folks who's just on their bed all the time and never leaving. Like, I saw that down the road. And in terms of like what I've done since then, in terms of all those, the work, lifting and eating better. I mean, I eat 250, 275 grams of protein a day. Don't really care a lot about carbs or fat. I'm really focused on that. I try to keep it. I have amazing I'm burning 4,000 calories a day at this point, even tested through my doctor. Anyway, I started keeping promises to myself, which I never did before. Yeah.
I realized that being consistent and having discipline is way more powerful than motivation. I had 3 great days hundreds of times over the last 20 years. Day 3, 4, I'm going to grab that pizza. I'm going to just sit around all day. So I realized if I count on motivation, I'm going to fail. So consistency and discipline beat motivation. I celebrate every single win. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, wow, I can sit in this booth at a restaurant. I'm going to celebrate this. Or it does not matter how small the win is. I celebrate it and I verbalize it and I write it down. If I'm ever having a rough day or I'm having a little stall in weight loss, I just look at that list. And then last is I don't set any output-based goals. I don't have like a weight goal. I've never had a weight goal. I focus on what do I have direct control over? I can control how much I lift, and when I lift, I can control how much I sleep, how much water I drink, what I put in my mouth. And all my goals are about that. And I don't care about the outcome as much, because I know that's going to take care of itself as long as I focus on
the inputs. And that's how I've done it.
Bro, you have
Amazing.
figured it out.
Yep.
You got me emotional.
I know, I'm over here all
code.
emotional right
You guys have been a big help. I'm not kidding. Like, I've sat through, and I think I have 20 episodes left, and the episodes I have left are stuff about like working specific body parts, because I'm like, well, I'm not there yet, but when I am, I have this waiting for me. I've listened to you guys on all these walks. I mean, I go for 7 to 10 mile hikes at this point, which is amazing. 3 years ago, I couldn't walk 20 feet without being out of breath. And now after 7 miles, I'm like, I can do another mile. And I listen to you guys when I'm lifting. It's really meaningful. And not just you, I mean, there's other creators out there that have helped as well, but it's been life-changing. Like, I wish I could, I have empathy for people who have huge weight problems like I did. I'm not a believer in the kind of healthy at any size thing, but I think a lot of that comes from people feeling like they're attacked or they're judged. And so they kind of retreat into this feeling of, well, I'm going to defend this thing that I am. And I wish I could get through to some of those folks with empathy and compassion and say, your life can be so much better. Even now, people look at, I could say I'm 340 pounds, and many of your listeners might be thinking, oh my God, that's huge. And I'm like, 340 pounds. I'm like, I look at the mirror, I'm like, I'm getting too skinny. You can have such a better life. But I think if people just focus on the outcome and a number and a scale and fast solutions, they're going to fail. Like, this is this stopped being hey, I'm going to lose weight for a few months and realize I'm going to have to put in practices that I'm going to do until I die, whether that's in 5 years or 30 years or 50 years, whatever.
Wow.
And I think that's sort of the key. I wish others could follow and do what I'm doing, because it's
Jamie,
my life is so much better in every way.
So
Jamie,
much wisdom. So much wisdom.
That was so good. Jamie, can I invite you back, possibly interview you?
I would love I'd love to have you
love
come on the show, dude.
I'd love to interview you,
here.
because there's a lot of people that we train people for a long time, and you have an understanding, and I think you can connect with people in ways that other people can't, because you've walked the
You
walk.
articulate it so well too.
Yeah, I'd love to have you come back on. Can I have my assistant reach out to you? Maybe we can make something happen.
Sure, yeah, I'd love to. Really enjoyed listening to you guys and talking with you, and so happy to share anything. And then, of course, anytime I get to talk to you, I can maybe learn a little bit more too. So it's always good.
All right,
Awesome,
dude. We're gonna try making this happen, Jamie. I appreciate you,
We'll
man.
reach out to you, dude. Thank you
Thanks.
so much.
Keep up the good work, guys.
Thank you,
got
Jamie.
You too, man.
Yeah, fighting back tears.
I know. I want to have him on the show.
I do.
He articulates that so well.
Well, that's how he was able to lose 300 pounds. He gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It won't happen any other way. And I'd love to have him on the show he does a great job communicating.
God, 20 years he carried 500 pounds.
What there are people listening who struggle like him, who look at trainers, look at us. We can do the best job we can do. We can communicate so well, and I think we do a good job, and this and that. But it's just to get through.
It's hard to break through.
Yeah, it's like he did it. He gets it, and
he's a living example of it.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
that's so great. I'm so happy we had him on. That's so great. All right, I know you liked that episode. If you did, check this one out. Shredded, ripped, defined, single-digit body fat.
Yes.
You want to get there? Let's talk about it.
Difficult. And is it worth it? That's a follow-up question.
Yeah, first off, we got to say that, okay, so single-digit body fat, obviously, body fat percentages that can be represented by one digit, like 3%, 5%, 6%, 9%. That's ripped for men. For women,
add 10%.
Yeah, exactly. You go up about